everybody, welcome to another top 10 list, and today I'm going to talk about my top 10 favorite movie robots. And the reason I'm doing this is because a new movie came out this week called Ex Machina. I'm actually going to see this movie in a couple days, so I can't wait. I'm hearing great things about it. But yeah, that movie's all about robots and stuff, so I thought, how about I make a top 10 of my favorite movie robots? Movie robots are just so awesome, some of them are just so iconic and memorable. So yeah, I'm going to make a top 10 of my personal favorite movie robots. And of course, before our top 10, you have to have your 5 honorable mentions. And the 5 movie robots that made my honorable mentions are the T-1000 from Terminator 2, Robbie from Forbidden Planet, Wally from Wall-E, Bishop from Aliens, and Ed 209 from Robocop. Yeah, I love all those robots, but they just couldn't make my top 10. But what did make my top 10 was my number 10, that is Samantha from Her. I love this movie. Came out in 2013, and I'm glad more and more people are starting to watch it because it didn't get as much love as when it came out. But I'm glad it won an Oscar. Yeah, original screenplay. Go Spike Jonze. I love this movie. This movie was so fantastic. One of my favorite movies of 2013, and I love this character Samantha from Her. And Scarlett Johansson does the voice, and it's such a soothing, relaxing voice. And if you don't know the story of this movie, it's about a guy who actually falls in love with artificial intelligence. He falls in love with an operating system, and it's basically a robot. And this robot is called Samantha. And basically, who's played by Joaquin Phoenix. He plays the lead character, Theodore. And basically, what he's looking for is not a sexual relationship, but an intellectual relationship. And that's what he has with Samantha. All they do is talk, and they talk about their life, their experiences, books, science, anything about the world and everything. And Samantha basically knows it all because she's a robot. I never thought I'd see such good chemistry between a human and a robot. And I love Samantha. I love the voice. I think Scarlett Johansson is a great actress, and she has a really good voice. And her voice just makes this robot just so good and just so pure. You just want to talk to her all day because the voice is so soothing and nurturing, and I love Samantha. Samantha was the best character in this movie. I love this movie. The writing was fantastic. Joaquin Phoenix was great. But yeah, Samantha was the best part of this movie. I love this robot. I love seeing all the changes she goes through, and she actually feels pain even though she's a robot. And I love Samantha. One of the best movie robots I've seen, and it's a pretty recent one, so yeah, love Samantha. Coming number 9 is Robocop from Robocop. Yes, Alex Murphy himself, played by Peter Weller, and I love Robocop. I said, I like Ed 209, but Ed 209 is a lot like other robots from other movies. Basically, it's almost like it's like an Imperial Walker from Star Wars. But yeah, I love Robocop. Robocop himself is just such a likable character. You know, he fights bad guys and kills them pretty brutally. But yeah, he's just so you just want to know a lot more about him. Yeah, you get more character development in some of the sequels, which really sucked, but in the first Robocop, he's just so interesting. You know, he doesn't say much. He's just so cool, and he's badass. He's awesome, and Peter Weller just plays the role so good, and yeah, you just love to root for him. You just want to see him kill Clarence and kill Dick Jones. And yeah, you just want to know what's going through that head of his. He's trying to get all his memories back, and he's just such a fascinating character. And yeah, technically he's half robot, half human, but I'm still gonna count him because I love Robocop. Robocop's one of my favorite action movies, and Robocop himself, he's just one of the best robots ever. He's fucking awesome. He's a police officer who kicks ass and shoots people in the dick. Yeah, that's right, he did that. And it was awesome. Love Robocop. Coming at number 8 is David from Prometheus. I know a lot of people have been hating on Prometheus, but I actually like Prometheus. But even people who don't like Prometheus can always say one positive thing about it. David is awesome. David is awesome. David's played by Michael Fassbender, and he's basically an android on the ship of Prometheus, and he's trying to figure out what it's like to be human, and basically he works for his father. It's not technically his father, just the guy who created him. Basically he has to do a lot of bad things because he has to follow his creator, and yeah, really deep down though, David is a good guy. He just has to follow orders, and he's a really, really cool character and a very interesting character, and I love how his mind works, and I love how just so fascinated he is by humans and stuff. And I love that he just constantly quotes Lawrence of Arabia in this movie. The trick, William Potter, not minding that it hurts. I know it's not an original line, but how about this? Big things have small beginnings. Yeah, I love David, and when you get into these alien movies, most of the time the androids are the best characters, and David's fucking awesome. Love David. Speaking of Alien, of course, my number 7 is Ash from Alien. Yes, Ash is basically the psycho robot. Like, he is fucking crazy. But yeah, he's played by Bilbo Baggins, Ian Holm, and he's great in this movie. He has one of the best performances. Sigourney Weaver's great in it too. So is Tom Skerritt. But yeah, I love Ian Holm in this movie. I love how he's trying to outsmart this entire crew, and he basically almost does. And I love just how fascinated he is by the xenomorphing. I love that he'll just do whatever it takes to get the knowledge of the xenomorph. He'll kill anyone, he'll experiment on anyone, and he just doesn't give a rat's ass in. But he's just so cool. I love how intimidating at times he is when he goes all crazy and everything. Like, hey, you just don't want to fuck with this guy. He fucking newspapers, chokes Sigourney Weaver, and holy crap, he's fucking crazy. But I love him. I love he's a very smart, intellectual character, and I love his fascination, and I just love how menacing he is, and Ian Holm just plays him so good. I love Ash. Alien's an awesome movie, one of my favorites of all time, and Ash is one of my favorite characters. Love Ash. Number 6 is Marvin from A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Yes, Interstellar thought they were the first movie to put a sassy robot. Actually, they weren't. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy was, I think, the first one. I bet you there was other movies, but yeah. Marvin, he's a really sassy, kind of weird robot. I love Marvin. Marvin is like my favorite character. He's played by Alan Rickman. Yes, Hans Gruber. Alan Rickman. But yeah, I love Marvin. He's always acts like he's depressed in this movie. He always has a lot of attitude, but he acts like he always talks like this. Yeah, of course. But yeah, I love his dry humor. He's like one of the funniest characters in this movie. Not saying a lot because there's a lot of funny characters. I love Sam Rockwell in this movie. I love Mos Def. I love Martin Freeman. I love all these characters in this movie. I love this movie in general. It's so fantastic. But yeah, Marvin is my favorite. Marvin the robot is just awesome. His dry humor and the fact that he almost looks like he's depressed and wants to kill himself in this movie. It's just so fucking funny. I think that's actually what he wants to do, and he's awesome. I love Marvin the robot. He's so great. Alan Rickman was the perfect choice to play him, and yeah, love Marvin. Coming at number 5 is Gertie from Moon. This is a movie robot no one talks about. I love Gertie. Gertie is... Some people say he's like a bad robot. No, he's actually not. He's not like Hal from 2001: Space Odyssey. He's actually a good robot. Just like Ash and David, he has to follow orders because that's in his program. But yeah, I love Gertie. He's voiced by Kevin Spacey in the movie Moon, and I love this guy. I love this robot. Sam Rockwell dominated that whole movie, but yeah, Gertie was the supporting cast, and Gertie was great. He had a lot of pretty good humor at times, and I love that she does, in the end, help Sam Rockwell, because he's just such a likable robot. And I love that he constantly has the smiley face, sad face. I love that. It's hilarious, and I love that Sam Rockwell keeps putting insulting stickers on him. Yeah, Gertie has a sense of humor. He can take a joke, and basically he is there just for the job. But he's still cool, he's still interesting, he's still likable, he still wants to help the lead character, and I love Gertie. He's a helpful, likable, interesting character, and yeah, he's just fascinating to watch. And Kevin Spacey just does a hell of a job doing his voice acting, and I love Gertie. He's an underappreciated robot. No one ever says Gertie. Why isn't Gertie in any top 10 lists? Well, he's in mine, thank God, because Gertie's awesome. Coming at number 4 is The Iron Giant from The Iron Giant. Again, this is one of my favorite movies of all time. I think this is one of the greatest animated movies I have ever watched. Yeah, Vin Diesel does the voice of the Iron Giant, and I've said this before, the less lines you give Vin Diesel, the better your movie will be. Look at Guardians, all he says is, I am Groot. And look at Saving Private Ryan, he dies in the opening scene, and that movie's fantastic. And look at the Iron Giant, he doesn't say much, but this movie is just so good. This movie is just so compelling. Roger Ebert said the best, this movie is so compelling, you just totally forget you're watching moving drawings. This movie is just a beautifully animated movie, but the characters are just so beautifully written, you totally forget you're watching an animated movie. And the Iron Giant himself is the reason. He's the heart and soul of this movie, and he's just so good. I love that he's learning all about this human nature and stuff. He's almost like a big kid. He's learning about comic books. I love that he thinks he's Superman. Superman. Yes, that ending, that had to make you cry. It was just so sad. And yeah, he's a true hero, and sometimes you can't help the badness in him, because, yeah, I won't spoil what happens, but yeah, he has this trigger in him, and when he sees weapons, he goes all evil and stuff, but yeah, the goodness still overpowers the bad, and I love this character. I love his fascinations with humans and everything, and I love him. He's got a heart of gold, and he's such a likable character. And Vin Diesel actually does a good job doing the voice acting for him, and I love The Iron Giant. The movie itself is brilliant, and the character is amazing. One of my favorite movie robots of all time. Coming at number 3 is not only one of my favorite movie robots of all time, but one of my favorite villains of all time. That is Roy Batty from Blade Runner. Yes, Rutger Hauer. I've mentioned Blade Runner a bunch of times in a lot of my lists, and because Blade Runner is my favorite movie of all time, and Roy Batty is one of the greatest villains and one of the greatest robots of all time. This villain has purpose. Like some people say, oh, he's just crazy. He's not crazy. He's doing all those things because he wants to live. He knows him and his crew are gonna die, so he's basically doing what it takes for survival. He's just a survivor, and that's why he's a villain, technically. He doesn't want to be a villain, he just has to be because he wants to live. It's not so bad, he wants to live. And yeah, even in the end, proves that he's not like a truly bad guy. He could have let Rick Deckard die off the roof, but he actually saves Rick Deckard. And he gives one of the most beautiful speeches I've ever seen in any movie. His scene when he dies, about like tears and memories and everything, is just so beautiful. And Rutger Hauer plays the role so freaking well. And yeah, he's a very intimidating villain. Like when he goes a little crazy, yeah, it's a little scary. And I love Roy Batty. I love all the other replicants in this movie too. Like I like Pris and Rachel. They're good characters, but I love Roy. Roy is one of my favorite movie villains, and he's one of the greatest movie robots I've ever seen in any movie. He's just so fascinating to watch, and Rutger Hauer's performance was just electric. I don't know why he didn't get supporting actor nomination for this movie. This movie got jacked when it came to the Oscars. I think it got one nomination. I don't know if that was for the effects or something, but yeah, that was bullshit. This movie should have got a lot of nominations, especially for direction and the picture. Maybe not screenplay or Harrison Ford, but yeah, Rick Deckard is awesome, but Roy makes this movie really, really interesting and fascinating and thought-provoking. As much as I love Harrison Ford, Rick Deckard's the shit, but Roy is just such a fascinating, interesting character, and Rutger Hauer should have gotten nominated, and he's fantastic. I love Roy Batty, Blade Runner, favorite movie of all time, and Roy Batty, my third favorite robot of all time, and probably one of my favorite movie villains. Love him. Coming number 2 is R2-D2 from Star Wars. Yes, all the Star Wars, even the prequels, R2-D2 is actually a very helpful robot. I do not include C-3PO because I hate C-3PO. I find him very annoying, very prissy. He doesn't help out much. He helps a little, but R2-D2 does pretty much the most work. A lot of people think, like, do you like R2-D2 really better than Roy? No, not really. They're almost like a tie. Like, I can't, like, put Roy above R2-D2 because R2 is just so iconic. He's just so memorable. And, like, everyone knows who R2-D2 is. And plus, I always loved R2-D2 as a kid. Like, he has more nostalgia for me than Roy. You know, I love Roy, but I love R2-D2 just as much because ever since I've been, like, 3 years old, I had R2-D2 toys. I even had an R2-D2 poster. R2-D2 is not my favorite character. Han Solo, Darth Vader, they've always been my favorite characters in Star Wars. But I love R2. Even in the fucking shitty prequels, R2 was like one of the best things about them. He's a very helpful character, and he's played by actually a dwarf, played by Kenny Baker, who does a great job. And I love R2. He's such a helpful, smart droid, and even though he only does boop, beep, beep, boop, beep, boop, he doesn't talk, but thank God he doesn't talk, because C-3PO talks, and he's annoying as shit. But I love R2. He's iconic, and it's fucking R2-D2. How can you not put him on a top 10 list? He's awesome. He's cool. Love R2. And my number 1 favorite movie robot is HAL 9000 from 2001: A Space Odyssey. No shit, right? Like, unlike Samantha, like Samantha from Her is a soothing voice, HAL 9000 is the complete opposite. He's a very menacing and scary voice who scares the living shit out of me every time he fucking opens his mouth. But I love him. He's just a voice. He's just a little computer with a little red little thing, little lens. And I love Hal. He's so freaking good. He's so smart. He's so clever. He's so cunning. And he's so menacing and intimidating. He's awesome. I love Hal. He scares the shit out of me. When I watch 2001: Space Odyssey, I'm like, God, I want to fuck with Hal. But Hal's awesome. The voice acting by him is freaking amazing, and it's one of the best parts about 2001: Space Odyssey. Yes, of course, the direction and the beautiful effects and beautiful atmosphere is what makes 2001: Space Odyssey 2001: Space Odyssey. That's what makes it what it is. But I love HAL 9000. He's one of the greatest movie villains, just like Roy. And he's my favorite movie robot because I think he is the greatest. He's so freaking good and so freaking iconic. Love Hal. He's the anti-Samantha. Yeah, after you watch HAL 9000, go watch Samantha. She'll cheer you up. Yeah, that was my top 10 favorite movie robots. So please, comment below. Give me your top 10 favorite movie robots. Comment below, let me know. And did you agree with my list? Because my list was pretty awesome. I know I forgot a few, but still. Did you like it? Comment below and give me your favorites and all that shit. And of course, if you like this video, please like and subscribe to this channel and join the dark side.